Okay, we're here. Hi. Uh, it's Grump. I'm tired. I'm very tired. Well, I just got off work, but I'm just winded, cause I ran home from work just to make it in time. But we did it. Fuck. It's okay if we gotta solo com. Hello, Autistic Sam. Ugh. Okay. I gotta probably try to get some water if I get a co-commentator, but did you end up fighting comms? Okay. So Remke is the player 1, Big Nick is the player 2. Okay. And Remke won the coin toss, by the way. He chose second pick. Hi, Remke. Good to see you. Sorry, I'm not saying too much. I'm just trying to catch my breath. I think 175 pound, 5 foot, 11, asthmatic man. So, I'm I'm not really used to going fast. Oh, hey Maury. I'm glad you can make it.
Hello. I can say words or something so you can.
Yes. Yes. First time you're in the commentary booth on one of my streams, I think. If you didn't know, we're going to Park. Rumkey's the player 1 and won the flip, so he took the second pick. What do you think of the team so far, and how slow this draft is?
Can I get a stream in Discord?
Right. Sorry.
I'm on which time right now?
Okay. Should be up.
Okay. And who is Bowser team?
Nick.
Okay. I think that Birdo is an interesting choice. He just must feel really confident in the star or not want Rimke to have the star because passing up on KB. Wait, Birdo went before Madge and then Rimke didn't draft Madge. That's kind of crazy. I guess Remke took Boo because he doesn't want to deal with Nick pitching Boo, which I think is also valid. I would say he's one of the people that like Boo kind of trumps up a spot or two just because he I don't want to deal with him coming from Nick.
I take Walu here, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who are we at now? Probably like one of the problems with the team, with the line that we're with 2P in general, is that I think you end up like in this scenario where I think Toadsworth is just really good because it's just LDSS, but I think that's why getting Madge is so good for 2P for one, is just because you don't have to get Noki, but you know how I feel about Noki. But then like you can't really take Toadsworth and Bro without having an awkward fielding scenario, and so you kind of have to choose. If you don't get Madge, then you're like, well, I have to take Noki and use that LDSS, or I just have to have an awful field. So it just feels like you're a little more pigeonholed. So it's kind of an interesting choice, I think, because the flexibility I think that Madge and Toadsworth have as LDSSers is part of what makes them so valuable. Same with Bones, but to a lesser extent, just because of the short bat and all that kind of stuff.
Wario Captain. Surprised not to see
interesting.
Luigi or Yoshi. But I guess it's because the I'm guessing is the highest star count like at the beginning of the game.
That's probably part of it. It's also just a nice, like, I would say Wario Star is mostly fieldable, but at the same time, there's always the chance of fielder select being silly or the opponent not knowing how to field it as well. So it is a very star lacking team, which in some ways is good, but in other ways it almost feels like a team that's sort of built around expecting the high roll because it doesn't really cover the low roll unless you're really converting with the heavies, you know? Like stars can sort of cover a little bit of the variance that you experience with like slap RNG or that sort of thing to some extent, but Remke's team has realistically what, 2 stars? 2 stars, yeah, and
I mean, I just say one. I don't. I wouldn't pop with KB. No one. Remke's not gonna spend 2 stars on an egg or a green fireball.
Well, he's gonna start with Noki every time, and then you have the option of a cheaper garlic. But Noki's batting 9th too. I'm very curious
Love
after this game to hear the thoughts here, because this seems like a very non-Remke lineup. Is my thought looking at it.
Love the Toad lead off. He's the GOAT. I'm surprised it's not red though. I thought it might be blue. Thank you, Ferran Burgundy, for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's hope for a really good game. I think, honestly, when it comes to the draft, I think Nick's got a better selection. It seems that he accounted for a lot of Remke's defensive holes, and like he knew Remke was very down on Luigi, like doesn't like him because of the sliding, so he opted for I think an earlier Mario pick, and then took Walu as a consolation.
Yeah, I think the Birdo pick must have been in part kind of a 2-part strategy to prevent getting a reliable captain star to some extent. Yeah, I don't know, B-Mills. That was the I think Caesar's agreeing with me saying it was a very non-Remke draft from Remke, and I think that's just kind of true because he's got 2 star hitters, kind of 1.5. A good start for Nick so far with the out and the sour, and we're up to 5 stars, and we're pitching Bones. I don't hate it.
I think Wario Captain is just... It's still... What Joe said, they're taking Wario Captain when the outfield is dookie, but still it's just kind of a coin flip. And you're gonna, like... I think Balam beat Dila in their bracket game yesterday, but I think all 4 times Balam swung for the garlic, it was caught. And that was with Wario as the captain. So, what are we doing?
It's just, it's a good Hail Mary. That's what I would categorize it as. Whereas, like, you may want consistency with something like Luigi.
Okay, that's nuked.
Fire Bros doing what he does. And...
Parking lot.
Was a 2-out great start to the inning, and it's now a 3-0. I don't think I'm confident the walk had to be unintentional with...
Yeah, it's now time to put our actual pitcher in. Bones, get out of here.
I think this is interesting. I'm wondering if he's going to be pitching to the heavies with Bones and then trying to preserve his stamina with Peach, because if so, I think that's a really interesting and probably good idea, because Nick is very good at pitching with Peach. So that may not be the reasoning, but at the very least, it's an interesting side effect. Like, I think you could very reasonably garlic here, because best case scenario, it scores a run. Worst case scenario, it does land.
No dive. That should have been caught.
It's tricky to it's in your brain, you know that intuitively it should be catchable, but then it's also just a little tricky to manage sometimes, especially when you're not when you're someone like Bones instead of Mario, for example. That's a big
Risk.
it's a big gap in terms of like how comfortable I feel, at least trying to field it. We get out of it with 4. It's definitely not the ending that you want, but
I mean, he is the best player in the game, quote unquote. It's going to be tough getting a shutout inning from him.
you definitely are happy you stopped it at 4, but you're also unhappy about the Fire Bro hit. And I guess the lean before that. I think it was a lean. Had to be. Oh, Madge just barely gets by there. Early dive did not, in fact, get that.
Good slap from
Ooh,
Donkey Kong.
DK heading to no man's land as he does.
He's just kind of that guy, you know? He's a player's player.
You put him, I mean, you're hitting in between all the broken fielders, and he just doesn't care sometimes.
Oonga boonga is my thought.
Now we have to. Okay, so he is kind of pitching to Bowser. I mean, you don't. I think you really don't love doing it, but
It's a necessary evil.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Failed.
Very likely
Failed.
was landing for a double with Fire Bro in the center field, but unfortunate. Now we have Toadsworth up. Got stars if he chooses to use them, but I think I would, yeah, because you got Birdo coming up, and then
After that, just Walu,
Forbes.
and then a bunch of slappers until Bones at the 9 hole.
I am not a big Birdo fan, but I know that Nick feels comfortable with her, so I guess that this is the sort of scenario he was looking for.
Nick likes his
Yep,
Birdo
and that's
eggs
fine.
sunny side up.
That's a good egg, too.
Sunny side up.
No double for Birdo there, but still the kind of bounce that's able to score 2. So.
The 2 is more important than the double.
Exactly.
I think I'd bunt, honestly, with Walu.
I could see it, yeah. I don't know if he will.
Oh, he doesn't need it.
Oh, that's a great hit.
Walu
Fox
just
just
showing
says
his
love
top.
those pulls. Yeah, he is really good at that with the star users like that. Like, some people have just gotten really good at hitting away from Yoshi to where he's borderline not relevant against their captain stars. Not universally, but for some people, they've gotten pretty good at it.
Peach, always a hard sell of a bat.
No.
And we're doing this.
I don't like this because so here's my process here, which is that Peach is a likely out.
Yes.
If you well, I guess there are 2 options here. Well, Peach is a likely out. Bones is up next. So if by some miracle Peach gets on, you have Bones up with bases loaded. So I
And
think in that
stars.
scenario you stay and stars. Yes. I could see an argument maybe for I just want to like have Bones to start the next inning, but you had 2 runners on, so I think you're just safer banking on not the hit and run. Just like, I mean, don't put yourself in a potential rundown scenario, and
This is also
see if you win that.
you also have the 1P team who is not going to be hitting any dingers anytime soon unless Bremke pitches to Bowser for some reason. So it's going to be a lot harder to get runs on a stadium like Park. That's a deep drive. Mario catches it though.
Mario gets it. Yep.
Junior doesn't get that. He's picking
Pretty.
daisies.
It's a pretty tight input, yeah. It's a great catch. It's a really. Oh, maybe this is what Nick wanted. Actually, he wanted to lead off with Peach.
I'll
That's
be
a
back in a
gross
sec.
hit. Okay. This rate, Remke will win 36-27. I do think if you extrapolate, that is what you get. That Peach hit was very close. Okay. Oh, oh well. That was close. Peach almost got out. Now you have Madge up. I mean, oh well. I was gonna say I am bad about spending my stars immediately, so I definitely spin there because you have DK into Bowser. But you know, Nick just says I'll just get on base anyway, and does. So he's maybe the worst fielder of all time, Seth. Well, second worst. Like, nobody is gonna. Well, he might be lower than Junior at this point in my brain. I don't know. He's kind of sold for me. At least with Junior, you know what you're getting going into the game, you know? And we're walking Bowser with 2 outs. I think that makes sense. We do have a shot at some runs here, though. I mean, I think I'm definitely spending here, but. Oh. Unfortunate. I'm guessing the big word that I used was extrapolate, Rhino? I don't know. Yeah, I guess that is sort of the trickiness of. That's kind of why I think I like this lineup with Madge and Toadsworth swapped, because I think having the better star, or the really good star, or the more reliable star after Bowser is more important than having the reliable one before him. So I think Madge gives you a little more room for error than Toadsworth does. So I think I would swap them for that, because I think I could see a lot more scenarios where a hit like that gets through for Madge, but not Toadsworth. Oh, and Peach does not get it. That's going to be runners on second, third. Those overhead camera fielding plays are kind of hard to eyeball, so. I don't know if Nick is throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, or if Remke is just swinging more on the first pitch than he usually does, but I feel like in my experience, Remke's a little less opportunistic on first swing than he has been so far, so I don't know. Could be both. I haven't been paying attention to that degree. Oh, that's gross. Alright, Nick has got to stop the snowball here. Which is not going to be helped by the potential garlic. Oh, but no garlic needed. Yeah, I guess there's no reason to garlic. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I would just be.
Okay, I'm back. I got water.
Welcome
Did
back.
anything big happen?
Did anything big happen? Were you here when Toadsworth was?
I know I saw bases loaded Toadsworth a star into Yoshi catch.
Okay.
And I saw that Yoshi
it?
got a run. I just don't know who
Yeah.
Yoshi drove in.
It was KB. KB hit a double that was dived at by Peach, but she didn't reach. So then that was Boo third, KB second, and then Yoshi, knocked in.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then now here we are. Still completely within the realm of scoring 3 runs. You definitely feel it when you're playing against the strong pitchers and you're down, because there are certain players who are just really good at pushing the advantage on the pitching side of things, where it's like they just tend to feast on things like getting antsy because you're down, or taking advantage of impatience or urgency.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we're kind of seeing here. It could just be because Peach is who she is, but Remke's definitely one of those where you're like, I'm down against him and I have to score, and now he's just throwing these degenerate pitches and I'm just gonna swing at all of them, so I gotta figure something out. But it's still doable. Nick can definitely put up 3 runs. He has those 40 to 30 games against Sam all the time, so he's clearly capable of scoring. So it's just a matter of stopping the flow of runs that's been coming, and he's got to settle in. Still got what, 6 innings?
And that's blasted.
Yeah.
Maybe Toadette catches that. She gets there fast enough.
I think she does, but then you have a Toadette on the team, so
yeah, no one likes
pros
that.
and cons.
Also, yeah, Sam and good pitching though. I don't know how well they mixed.
I think Sam overall is a pretty good pitcher. I think he just throws some silly pitches that score runs sometimes, I would say. Which I guess you could argue makes you a worse pitcher overall, but if you just take out the bad stuff, then
okay, that's nuked.
Gone. All right. So right now is when you are definitely feeling it, and what I think a lot of people would do in this scenario is just sort of say that it's over, but this is sort of the moment where you have to just say, like, I gotta get out of this inning, and then I know I can score runs, so I just need to chip away and it can be done. So that will be up to Nick, I suppose.
Ooh! Oh, I thought that was done!
What a crazy...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Some silly dives out there on the field. Dives and force outs in this game are two sides of a really dumb looking coin, I think. So now we got Yoshi swinging on the outside.
All I'm saying is, Corn Pot pitcher got it done. Bones pitcher does not get it done.
I'm not going to be a part of a political stream. I'll just throw that out there.
Damn it.
Oh, we got this. This is a potential. Oh my.
Okay, that was a good play.
Crazy.
That was a good play by Nick.
That was so gutsy to. I don't know. He was aware that he got Birdo so quickly and was already moving as if he had Birdo. That was wild. Or maybe it was some of the funky tech that this game has, But either way, it was very, very fast response to, and almost certainly saved a run there, because I don't think Bones is getting that under most scenarios.
Beano's in chat. You think Toad versus Buff is the same scenario as Bones versus Rimke? B-Mills, that's the fucking joke! Anyway, DK up. Let's see if he'll hit it into the mystical area that no fielder will ever touch.
No fielder swap, which makes me think either A, Rimke is more concerned about the potential LDSSs, or at this point, I was going to say the other potential is that he feels that he has a 6-run lead, and he feels that Nick is probably also feeling the 6-run lead. Which is where I think a lot of the players that tend to do well against Rimke don't really come down to really any sort of like thing in their play that they have that others don't have. It's almost like having sort of a goldfish memory when it comes to sequences in an at-bat or in a game overall is helpful, because I think Rimke is one of those people that just really, really capitalizes on
Goddamn.
if you're feeling that pressure. That was like Sam, for example, does pretty well against Rimke overall compared to most people, and Sam's just one of those people that can just monumentally goof up, and then he'll just be like, all right, next at bat, which I think goes a long way when you're playing somebody like Rimke. So still not over yet, but Birdo makes a good out there, because you don't want potential 2 runners on for PB here in any circumstance, I think.
Yeah, that would be
better
bad.
case, 0 runners on for PD to start next inning. All right, so we got what, 5 innings left for Nick to put something together.
Yep. Sam feels like Grump died. Get him some water. I filled up on water. Don't worry, Joe. Don't worry. You don't need to waste it.
It's just normal dying now, not dying.
No,
where's the overthrow?
I kicked off my shoes, man. I'm just lounging back in my chair. I've got this one of those large cups from Firehouse, and I just use it as like a water bottle because it still has the straw. I immediately went to the I can't remember the name of it, but it's like that was a nice peach. Slap was unfortunately out, but it's like one of those filter water things. Brita. I just went to the Brita. Yeah. It was filled, and I just like fucking filled the entire cup up and like chugged half of it straight. Like I just slurped all of it. Now it's back to normal.
As a sort of addendum to the last inning, that at bat with Peach did go a lot better than it did before that. So I think Nick settled in some form to the idea of, I got sort of hit the first few innings, and then the slap just didn't fall. But you're also down 5 stars to 1. But his team has like 2 star hitters, so I guess pros and cons, but Nick still just gotta find a way to scrounge the runs together here, and also pitch to a nightmare here.
Yep.
Honestly, I was gonna say, I don't think you're in the wrong if you walk here, because sure, Yoshi could star or Yoshi could slap on, but like Fire Bro has also just been on it. Sometimes people are on it and you just have to accept it.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with, like, I feel like, I think Nick is the more viable team. Not the one, I don't know if it's the one I would pick, but the problem is, with Remke, at least this game, PD and Bro and KB might as well be Bowser's. And he has 3 of them. And you can't walk 3 of them. Yeah, and he also has stars, and he has, like, all of the stars. It's like, how do I beat this guy?
Yeah, I think that on some level against Remke that I don't know what Nick's reasoning was for, like, say Birdo over like KB or Madge or any of that, but I think on some level you just have to accept that like counter picks aren't going to be the reason that get you the win if you're going for it, if that's what your reason is, like a counter pick, if you're close enough to beat him, then a counter pick isn't going to be what sways the balance. And if you're not close enough, the counter pick's not going to do enough. So I think you just got to play your game and, do it better than he does his in that particular game.
Eggplant is underrated. You know what, Exilor? You're kind of real for that one.
I would say Eggplant, my hot take is that Eggplant is rated. You heard it here first.
Alright, I'm gonna kill you for that one.
Remke up again. Slap out into Birdo. Star chance again. Remke just has so many stars to spend here, but I mean, I think he put Noki here specifically because
for the wraparound.
You can just spend your star. Yep, you can spend your star. You can likely get on with Toad, like say slightly above 50% odds overall, and then you're back up to PD, who Remke definitely feels comfortable with against pretty much anybody. So as long as you can, all you really need is a couple of hits throughout the middle of your lineup, and it doesn't take long before you're back to the start of it again. He kind of built it like a Bowser team in a sense.
Yeah.
Where sort of build it around like funneling everything back to the top of the lineup.
How's that a ball?
I think a lot of 2P teams end up being a little bit more consistent throughout the lineup. But it is interesting. It was a strange draft. I don't really know why it went how it did. Yeah, Bowser up. He's definitely gonna pitch here.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that you get Bowser in a scenario where at most he's giving you 1 run if you're Nick. But hopefully you can get that one, or at least another one. That's unfortunate. He had the one earlier with 2 runners on, and that would have, I think, landed for a double, and then you had that as well, just to add insult to injury.
Yeah. And also, oh wait, no, Yoshi was close enough to just touch it. I was gonna say the jump catch also missed. It was like a insult to injury, like a mental one.
I guess the tricky part about some of the variants in this game, especially when you're playing against someone like Remke, is that in a lot of cases you kind of need nothing to break against your favor if you're wanting to take him down.
Yeah.
And so then in a scenario like that where your main run generator is hitting it to Yoshi twice, that just makes it that much more difficult to get those runs.
Good jump catch.
Stylish little jump catch for the fans.
Okay, that was almost nuked. Yeah, Bro is the new Bowser for Remke. And Nick really doesn't have a lot of time left. He's just gotta, I guess, avoid getting Mercy, but at this point, Remke's just still able to consistently... Yeah, he hasn't had a run since the first.
Well, if you look at the hits, though, Nick has definitely been doing what he needs to in terms of execution for the most part. There have been, a couple of errors or those sorts of things, but just has had some unfortunate circumstances, and Remke's just been playing well and hitting him. So, but not by as much as it can feel sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
It's always interesting when you're playing the game and you look at it and then you're like, you see the score or the actual performance, and then you look at the hits or something, and it's just like, how did this?
I have to wonder.
KB being the best third baseman ever, yet again.
I have to wonder though. At what point does it come Oh, we got like a freeze frame. Yeah, I guess they just lagged for a moment. I was gonna say, at what point does it become like, let's say, theoretically speaking, just humor me. Let's say you have 0 runs, but you have a certain amount of hits. And let's just say you play over a 9-inning span. At what point does the amount of hits have to be so large, but you still have 0 runs for it to be that's not just a bad execution thing. You're not doing the best you can do. If you have 20 hits and 0 runs, I feel like you're doing something wrong. At some point you should get a run if you have that many. That's a nice tech attempt.
It does depend though, because I think in a lot of cases it can come down to things like your lineup execution, because ideally you should be putting people in spots where they can actually punch runs through, but there are scenarios where your slaps don't land and then your heavy's low trash. I mean, there are scenarios like that, or the timing of them is not what it should be, but it is it's what makes there is the idea, that people talk about of separating the process from the results, and I think there's a lot of validity to that, but I think this game is also a little difficult in the sense that it makes it a lot more difficult to accurately assess what's happened, because even in a case where you do everything right and you get unlucky, it's hard to say maybe the lineup should have been different, or maybe I should have fielder swapped or saved that star from, it's there are so many variables like that just accumulate and make it pretty hard to say a lot of things definitively. We're down to 3 outs left for Nick though.
World's easiest comeback though, right, Nick?
That's what I heard someone say. That's not how you want to start it though, unfortunately.
Bo.
I'm really surprised he didn't start there.
With Bones?
Yeah.
Would have been nice, but...
Well, my thought there is it's a star chance, so...
You don't lose anything, yeah. You can just chain
Yeah.
it.
If you don't get on, like you have to slap with Madge, but and that's foul. Oh, that's it. And you gotta be ready for a potential drop here too, but he's not gonna do it. That's unfortunate. You hate the nuked foul into much less good fair ball.
Glad we didn't mod from the base game for that. What do you mean by that, B-Mills? What are you referring to?
Oh, he's probably seeing the big toad catch, I assume.
Oh, okay.
This is a big spot.
And Wario's a big guy.
Not gonna land.
Okay. Remke got it. He has clinched a top 8 appearance in winner's side.
GG to both players.
Same hits.
What is wrong? Yeah, see, this is where, if you could account for, if you account for just face value, runners on base, and the low trad or whatever, then like that's like say up to 3 runs or something from Bowser, but that's still what, like a 9-6 game. So I mean, in practice, you know, if the Bowser hits went a little better, then it might be 9-5, 9-6, but there were still quite a few runs that Remke was able to put up by producing with his heavies that just weren't matched, you know. I guess that was ultimately, I would say, I guess in a practical sense, it was a maybe 3 or 4 run game.
Yeah,
like,
that's
in terms
fair.
of how it felt and how people executed without like somewhat removed from results. I still need Remke to explain his draft. That was a really good draft. It's the least Remke draft I feel like I've ever seen.
Hindsight 2020, but the Bones Gambit pitching was a wash. Yeah, I don't think it was worth going for the cursed ball. You'll just get better contact because Bones can't curve it as much.
I don't know if it was as much I was gonna say I don't know if it's that or if it was him going for that or if it was him going for something like just a different pitcher to save stamina for Peach. But then he had Walu, so I think if you were doing that, you would just go with Walu. So I definitely think going for Cursed Ball or something against Firebro or against Petey is just not relevant because they both just hit it too hard. If it was a team of, you know, like if it was Hammer maybe or Boomer and it was like Pianta or something maybe, but otherwise. Oh, hi Remke, are you here to explain your crazy draft?
Yeah, the draft was kind of weird. It just kind of got thrown off when Nick went Spurto 6.
Oh yeah.
And then I got KB7. So I just had to kind of he went Birdo 6 and then he also went Mario 10. So like I had to pick an alternate captain. There was no reason for me to ever pick either of them higher. So because I got KB7 and then he went Madge 8 and Boo 9 is how that went.
I think so.
And then Mario 10, Wario 11, Waluigi 12. And then I decided to go Noki over Luigi because if he goes Luigi 14, I'm like, okay, fine, I can pick Toadette if I need to, just because I've got offense, like I've got good amount of offense from Boo, KB. Like KB on his own, but when I've got Boo as well, it helps just to have that little extra. Because I mean, this could be complete bogus, but I think having Chem does a little bit extra when there's curve traj just to get that little extra boost. Yeah, and then obviously Petey Bro, but my deciding factor was that I had 0 star hitters up to that point. So I was like, I need an LDSS, so I got Noki over Luigi. And then I got Luigi anyways because he went Toadsworth over Luigi, which personally, I don't understand that decision, but that's a Nick question, not a me question.
Were you? I don't think you really were, unless you were willing to forego a lot of fielding. I don't think you were ever taking Toadsworth, were you? I
Yeah,
guess
no,
you could
no,
have
no.
taken him
I
instead of
always,
Toad,
well,
but
I mean, I would have picked if he picked Luigi, I would have picked Toadsworth probably because I had all my fielding except for right field, and I was going to go Toadette with that pick. So
yeah. I feel like I don't know what Nick's plan was, but I feel like he sort of went in two different directions with what he ended up doing in practice. Like it seems like he was trying to start view of star hitters, which he did, but then it also seemed like he was trying to do something else with the heavies. Like I don't know if it was curse ball or like preserving peach or something. But it was
yeah,
like
I mean,
if you're forcing you into execution with heavies, I feel like you gotta just trust your main guy to pitch. Like
yeah. I mean, I kind of just got there with the 50. I mean, I call them kind of 50-50 balls. Like it's hard, but I got there and I got, I think that game could look a lot different if, he's kind of schmixing me up with the charge pitches.
yeah.
But also I kind of just I got to read on him pretty quick.
Question.
Yeah.
Why did you pick Wario captain over the green ones?
Because I like my stars to get RBIs instead of just get on base. Especially since I didn't have LDSS. But I mean, the garlic was just kind of ass. It was kind of ass that game. That Birdo catch was fucking nuts. He pressed R for sure.
Crazy.
He didn't just natural get Birdo. He pressed R.
I was gonna say he also moved like he knew he was gonna have her the whole time too.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing he just presses R like when the shadow is right above Birdo, but I don't know how consistent that is. Like does it work if the shadow doesn't go directly over Birdo? Like I'm not sure. I'm curious to see how that works. And then the ones to right and center field were just unfortunate where I lost the 50-50s because he didn't really have good control over either fielder on those scenarios, but it still went to the closer spot than where he was, so he caught it both times. But it happens. That's the crux of Wario Garlic. But
yep.
I don't know. I could have gone Yoshi captain, but I just wanted something that could maybe drive in an RBI, especially when I've got a Yoshi runner, a Noki runner, a Luigi runner. I had speed on my team, so I wanted something that could get around the base paths.
Your game plan was already just kind of live and die by being able to
exactly
the heavies anyway. So like getting somebody on base doesn't like one extra run isn't really as big of a deal.
If I didn't have Boo there, I would have gone Peach captain.
Interesting.
But
team hydrate. That's funny.
What?
Well, B-Mills says we got a water shortage in the booth, and then Autistic Sam 626 redeemed hydrate. So that is entertaining. Oh, and Nick, we're throwing some hydration.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay, we just.
So much hydration.
Okay, I'll be back with water. No! No, not burn all of them, no! I can't drink that much, not at once.
Yeah. Nick brings up a good point here. I think your options are never cough again or drink yourself to death. I think those are basically the two scenarios you have here.
Yep, it looks like everyone's gonna make you drink yourself to death. Anyway, gotta go. Bye.
Bye. Alright, so while he's busy drinking water until he dies, I'm going to look at the bracket and say something. So we have Remke versus Seth in top.
Okay,
6.
I'm back. I have water. No. Oh my god, dude.
You've got plenty of drinking ahead of you. Don't worry.
Well, thank God I'm taking a shower. That place has got plenty of water.
It does have some amount of water, yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like Seth is playing Rimkey, and then Nick will play the winner of Balam and Thrax, who I think are playing later today.
7:40, so hour and 20 minutes from now.
And then the last game before winner's side of top 8 is settled is Super versus Bolt, which I think is also later today at some point.
As far as I can know, it's sometime maybe 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. And then as far as losers bracket goes, we have, let's see, C's is going to need to play either Super or Bolt, depending on loser. And then, as I said, Nick plays winner of Brax Palam. And then in that same round, which is I think top 12, Face and I are playing tomorrow. Winner of that plays one of Nick Malthrax Balam. So
I believe this, as of now, there are 5 games left before top 8, which Ravian will be taking over.
one.
And we have, I think, 1 planned out for tonight. Yeah, with the Thrax game with Balam. 1 potentially planned with Super versus Bolt, and that's the last winner's side game. I don't know when you and Faceman are playing.
It will be tomorrow night, says Face.
Mr. Faceman can't play tonight, eh? Can't believe him.
That was the ping that I got, was I'll be available to play tomorrow evening. And that was on today. So
Okay. And then, okay, so Nick said, yeah, whoever wins the Thrax Billiam game, he can play them right after. So we'll at least get 2, well, definitely 1, maybe up to 3 of the 5 left. And, loser of 23 plays C's. So, and they're playing night. So we might get 4 of the 5. Your game with Facebook might be the last one before top 8 on Sunday.
yeah, just depends on when Super and Bolt play, and then when they're able, loser if that's able to play C's.
Mm-hmm. How are you feeling against about your game versus Faceman?
I am. I mean, it's just a game. I've played him a lot. He's very good. There are matchups that I feel like I have a pretty decisive advantage in. There are matchups that I feel like there's more in the way for me to try to overcome to win, and I think that Face is probably one of the closest to a real 50-50 for me currently. So, my plan is to win, obviously, but I don't necessarily. We both know how each other play. We both know what we're trying to prevent the other from doing, all those sorts of things. Experience kind of makes, the more you play with somebody, in a weird way, the closer the matches become, even if skill levels are a barrier or like a big separator. And so, my plan is to win and then play who? Yeah, Nick Thrax Balam, and then win that and then keep winning, but who's to say?
I'm just gonna...
Face could just go crazy when we play, and then that's the game. But
For good luck to your match, by the way. But before we end stream, I'm just gonna show the audience something so they don't have to keep redeeming their points, their precious points. There. It's all filled up, people. It's all filled up. I got plenty of water. Drinking it. Yeah. Big thing. I'm asthmatic. I cough more when I get stressed as well. So running plus asthma. Silly goose. I'm not the silly goose here. Play a redemption bracket match. I have an idea. I'll stop coughing if you get me some chocolate milk. And that Bort license plate. I need that as well. I'll love me some chocolate milk, too. I might be lactose intolerant, by the way. I'll still drink chocolate milk. It's delicious. But that's going to be stream. What? Okay, I'll just put it in the fridge to pre-chill. stream's gonna end for now. I'll be back at 7:40 with at least one game. I'll get you a chalky milk with the play card. Thank you, Joe. See, Joe's a real one for that. But we'll be back at 7:40 Eastern, so a little over an hour from now. I'm gonna freshen up, drink plenty of water. Thrax Balam at that time, winner I think versus Nick after, and then we might go offline or see possible redemption bracket games to fill the time until potential Super versus Bolt game. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thanks Maury for tuning in as the commentator. Appreciate it while I was rehydrating, let's call it. Cleared my throat there. Didn't cough. And bye-bye.